Hi guys, listen, I was invited to this pregame show by Mr. Chip. Man, I'm gonna let him take over though. Go ahead. I'm throwing you the alley hoop right now.
Oh man,
You better dunk it.
man. So first, Lloyd. Oh, it's going down. So for sure, yeah. So first, Lloyd, man, I just want to say thank you so much for having us on your show, man. We truly appreciate you. Love what you do, love what you're about, man.
Yes, sir.
So, man, just wanted to come through, and we just recently released the Impact of Influence
Come on.
Volume 7.
Yes, sir.
Crazy. And so just wanted to come through and highlight the authors, let you guys know about who they are so y'all can go show them some love. But just want to pass it around. I'll just introduce the authors and
Yes.
we just go around the room, let them talk a little bit about themselves and their background.
Let's get it.
All right. Coach Tamika, you want to start us off? Tell us a little bit about who you are and your background so the audience will have a clue.
Yes, so I am from probably 5 minutes north of here, northeast of here. I'm a Houstonian through and through. My family's been here probably 100 years. So grew up on the north side, was a sports fan very early. So sports and reading, coincidentally, now that I'm an author, were big in church, were a big part of my life. Grew up with four siblings. My grandparents raised us. Both my parents, products of the drug epidemic in the 80s.
Come on.
Have so many of my peers have the same story, but my grandparents stepped up to the plate and did a great job with us. My life wasn't without challenges, but I was laser focused just as a young person. So been able to accomplish some things, even though I've hit some bumps in the road. Really excited to be an author. This is my fourth book project, second with Chip, and the connections and the impact I've had from writing books, in addition to being a coach and an educator, have been just really amazing. So super excited to be a part of this project. I've met tons of amazing people through Chip. So just really happy to be here.
Awesome. Well, thank you for being a part of it. And I think my new thing is just telling y'all every time, thank you for saying yes.
Oh, yeah. You're right.
Because you ain't have to do that.
Who can hear you now?
Man, just thank you for saying yes and being a part of it. And I'll talk more about the beauty of the connection piece. I love that you mentioned that. Remind me to say something about it.
Yes.
All right, let's go to Miss Tamika Chop Martin.
Hello, I am Tamika Chop Martin. I am originally from Bryant, Texas, by way of Calvert, Texas. Robertson County, Brazos Valley in the house. I went to the Prairie View A&M University on an athletic and academic scholarship. Pledged the Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated. Met my husband there, and we got some beautiful kids. But education, I'm an educator by trade, an assistant principal, but I'm also an elevator and an entrepreneur. So I always say I'm an educator, elevator, entrepreneur, because I'm multifaceted. I'm gonna use all the gifts that God gave me. So me and Chip, that's my homeboy. Like he's from Hearn, Texas. My family's from Hearn, Texas, and Calvert, Texas, and Bryan, Texas. He's a little bit older. We did teach in Conroe ISD at the same time. So we've always been connected. Me and his sister graduated the same year. So we have a lot of different connections. I started writing because, again, I majored in engineering. I did not want to be an educator, but it's a ministry the Lord brought into my life, and I love it. I've been doing it for 21 years. But I started off as a columnist. One of my sorority sisters, she was editor for Houston Star magazine, so she wanted me to write some articles about real estate. So I wrote some articles about real estate, and then that led into Chip interviewed me on one of his first group of episodes for the impact of not impact of influence, but his success chronicles. And I always remember I'm number 34, and so the Lord just had connected us in a way, and we just still popping. Opportunity is gonna bring other opportunities. I always tell Chip he is a connector. I also started my own business in 2021, Glam and Girlfriends, LLC. And when that happened, I didn't know I was about to experience one of the biggest challenges of my life so far. My mama passed the next day, after we celebrated that. But then Chip, the Lord must have put me on his heart to write about In the last book, volume 5, and I wrote about grief to greater. So then we came around talking about the adversity. So all of these things make an impact on everybody's life. So that's why I wake up every day. I want to live on purpose with purpose. I always say Galatians 6:9, let us not grow weary in doing good, for at a proper time we reap a harvest if we do not give up. So it's harvest time and we finna get it popping.
Come on.
Go.
Come on.
Yo.
Wow, keep it popping.
Yeah. Own it.
On it.
On and pop.
So, Chop, before we go to the next one, I want to tell you thank you for saying yes. Yeah. Let's go. All right, let's go to my guy, Chris Holmes. Tell us a little bit about who you are, Chris.
Man, I was taking from Nas. Life is good.
Life is good.
Life is good. Of course, my name is Chris Holmes. I mean, the journeys has been amazing, even how like it comes full circle. But just starting off, I'm from Huntsville, Texas, graduated from Sam Houston State University, and just enjoying the journey from being a photographer, videographer, podcast host, poet, writer, and then I just say a go-getter. Just pretty much pushing each and every day because I feel like that is my story and hoping to encouraging others. And with that said, like it's funny how like along my journey I bumped into you because like I'll tell them the story as well as like my old high school coach, Coach Carlson, one that I played for in high school, introduced me to Chip. And it was just like my one of the days like in Huntsville, he saw all the things that I was doing and achieving. And it's just kind of like destiny how things combine and just bring forward and just naturally come off forth to bring things to pieces together. And then he saw everything that I was doing, and then he said, like, I think you may have built a great relationship with one of my guys. It's like, who's this guy? It's a Baker. Chip Baker.
He said the
Chip
whole
Baker.
Chip Baker.
But like ever since then, like we've been kicking it off ever since. Then just like continuing to grow on my own experiences, and then I just continue to write as well. And I just want that to continue to be my journey of encouragement, empowerment, and much more because. And I'll get more in detail about this, but I feel like I'm always constantly looking myself in the mirror of how I can improve. Because that's what my writing in this book is about. Is like pretty much facing your own reflection. And I think so many people are afraid to face themselves and just admit truth. I mean, you get so much more unlocked in your life when you be completely honest about yourself, from the flaws to your achievements and much more. Because once you own that, know who you are, nobody can stop you. Nobody can tell you otherwise. And I think that chapter in my continuing journey, along with the rest of our private influencers, is going to do the exact same thing.
Awesome, man. Good deal. Chris, man, thank you for saying yes.
Yes.
Yeah. All right. Now we're going to go to my guy, Darius Bradley Sr.
Hey, what's going on, guys? Listen, first and foremost, hold that for me, brother Chris. First and foremost, I'm on live. First and foremost, I just want to, give an expression of gratitude to our brother Chip, man. Chip is truly one of the most, and I say this every single time, because it's absolutely the truth, right? He's truly one of the most organically golden people, right, that you'll ever meet in your life. And so I'm so grateful to our Heavenly Father for blessing me to be in this Impact of Influence family, but none of this would be possible had it not been for the meeting of Brother Chip and I. And what's so interesting about our meeting each other, we come to find out that we're go-get-it twins, right? We both scream out, go get it. We spell it differently, but our passion behind it, our passions are the same. And so I'm grateful to our Heavenly Father just for blessing us all to be here, but most importantly for blessing Brother Chip to be such a selfless person and the sharing of his gift and his platform and bringing us all together, man. So I had to get that all first, bro.
Sure.
You know what I'm saying? But as Chip mentioned, my name is Darius Bradley Sr. I go by the name of Divine Encourager. Originally from New Orleans, born and raised, right? Started off in the oil industry out there, the music industry out there. Did a lot of music, but some of the well-known people that are coming out of New Orleans or who have come out of New Orleans, right? Thought that was going to be my path. Started real estate early on as well. Did not know, but always wanted to be an author, but did not know that I was going to have the opportunity to do that with my brother, our brother. Became a motivational speaker. Did not know that that was going to happen. I have a little girl that was born on life support. She's actually the longest living person in the world with the severity of her syndrome. And by that situation developing, it changed something and altered something in me.
Yeah.
And I'm already a person who just loved to talk, right? But God took and molded me in ways through the contrast of my little girl being on life support and all of the other things that we go through in life, the contrast. He blessed me to turn my contrast into content. And so it started off by me speaking. People would hear me speak. And they would ask, Darius, are you a motivational speaker? Can you come speak at my school? Can you come speak at my organization? Can you come and speak at the hospital? Right? It led me so many different places. The pain did. The pain, the contrast, the darkest places that we've ever been in our lives. I've learned how to repurpose that pain. And by learning how to repurpose that pain, it led me to areas such as this. And been on platforms, I'm now, I think I'm in 4 volumes of The Impact of Influence, which are all #1 bestsellers. And that doesn't have anything with us wanting to become that, right? It's us wanting to add value. And so a buddy of Chip and I introduced us. And we realized that we, had similarities as far as being kingdom men, family men, having the same passion and the same sayings as go get it. And we developed a beautiful relationship from there and started doing certain things. And Chip didn't notice at the time, but I prayed on it and I asked God, I said, God, please bless me to become an author, but I want to do my very first book with Chip. He didn't even notice. That was like a year before he had even asked me to be a part of the book. And when he reached out and called me, I'm driving down Highway 6 in Sugar Land. And Chip, hey man, what you doing? I said, oh, I'm cooling, bro, whatever. And he was like, man, I have a question to ask you. I'm like, what's going on, bro? And he was like, man, would you like to be a part of this book? And before he can even get it out good, right? I'm like, yes, I'm in. Count me in. I'm crying and everything.
Yeah.
Because he didn't know I was crying, right? But I knew the power of God is tremendous. It's ineffable. And so Chip blessed me to share this platform with him. And I've been down ever since. And so, my chapter in this book is themed press. And I'm talking pressing beyond the contrast, the high hurdles, the uncertainties, whatever the challenges, the Goliaths in our lives, we all have them. So whatever those Goliaths are, they're needed in order for us to even get to the next level of life, right? There's no being more than a conqueror if we have nothing to conquer, right? There's no putting any more on you than you can bear if you don't know the heaviness of what's on you right now, right? So by my mother and my brother dying back to back, my brother in 2021, my mama in 2022, in my arms, December 13th, 4:56 in the morning, took her last breath in my arms and gave me the gift of her last breath, right? And I promised my mother that I would utilize that every day of my life and make sure that I'm adding the value that God said for us to add, right? By becoming a living word, not just reading it. It's 2 different things. I don't know the doctrine, but I practice the disciplines of the doctrine, and I know that's going to come with some heavy stuff. But I'm prepared for it because he already promised me that I can do all things through Christ, who strengthens me. And so this is what it looks like when we do all things through Christ who strengthens us. And people are asking, how'd you do that, Darius? How'd you do it? I don't know how you did it. Listen, I tried to do it, and my own strength I got so far. But when I let go and I let God, and I start praying his promise to him, and this is what it looks like. So yeah, man. Thank you, brother. Big blessings, man.
Thank you for saying yes, man.
Hey, man, I always say yes when it comes out here, bro. Go get it. Go get it.
Talking like we talk.
Hey.
I think just hearing you say those things, and like I said before, man, I'm just grateful. Like, this is way cool to me. Like, every time I get an opportunity to talk about, like, first off, like being an author. I really feel like an author.
Okay.
Like
This is my fifth
Yeah, the
project.
whisper by you.
Glory to God.
Real author.
Real.
Yeah, real, right?
Mama, we made.
It's just crazy, and I'm truly grateful for it, man. It just I don't know. I just catch myself being in the moment every time I get to hang with the other authors and just experience when people ask me about it. I'm like, man, that's great. For real. Yeah, man. Yeah. But just a little bit about myself. I am Chip Baker. I'm a fourth generation educator. I like to tell people I come from a family of church folk.
Come on.
And educated. Come on now. The order.
That's my point.
Hell yeah.
Come on
Come from
now.
a family of church folk and educators. And I say that because I'm truly proud of that, because I come from a family that I was taught to be of service. I was taught that it's bigger than you. I was taught that it's not about you. I was taught that you have to go above and beyond and do things to help others. And the big man will always see fit to take care of you. Right. And so I've seen that and I've learned that throughout my life. And, I'm just striving with everything I got to give that back to the world and to others. And so, I have a YouTube channel and podcast, The Success Chronicles. Started that about 8 years ago. And what I do is I just interview people from all walks of life and share their stories for positive inspiration and motivation. Man, about 6 years ago, started writing books.
Come on.
And, to the date, have written 19.
Let's go.
Been a part of 19. And so, truly a blessing, man. And I think it does two things for me. It makes me be super grateful, like I talked about earlier. But the other thing is that it shows me that big things are possible, right? And it makes me hungry, right, to do more. And so that's kind of where I am now. And I'm grateful for the journey again. Thank you for having us.
Yes, sir.
But if you have any particular questions, you can do that with us, or I can go around and ask questions. How you want to?
Man, again, for some of y'all who don't really know who I am, my name is Lloyd Christian. I am half of OM2H, which stands for One Marriage, Two Hustlers. And so a couple years ago, me and my wife, we decided to open up a studio because we was helping people at our house. And so we decided to say, you know what, let's just open up a studio. And then people was trying to rent our house out back in 2018. And my wife was like, oh, we can't have nobody coming in this house. Me, I was down with all of the But she was like, nah, we gonna, so in 2022, we decided that we opened up the studio, and man, it's just been a blessing. We've been podcasting since 2017. And so we done met so many people on this journey of podcasting. I'm also an author. The name of my book is called Why Now Is Your Time? To know your passion, understand your purpose, and pursue your dreams. I'm big on manifesting. So if you can write it down, you can see it, you can make it happen. But I think a lot of times people want other people to see their vision. And the minute somebody else see your vision, it's no longer your vision.
They took it.
You know what I'm saying? So I'm glad when they don't see it, because I'm like, it's like when we started opening up the studio, they was like, what y'all trying to do? Now we got a ton of podcasts renting this place out. So it's good they didn't see it because we seen it. And as long as we seen it, that's all that matters. So
I know you have an acronym for us, bro. What's the new acronym? Come on, man. Lauren known for the acronyms, man.
Listen,
on the spotlight.
I tell you guys, it's three acronyms that I speak on a lot. The first one is DNA. The D stands for your design. The N is to notice, and the A is your assignment. You know what I'm saying? We all have our own DNA. What's crazy is nobody's DNA could be duplicated. You know what I'm saying? So when you know your assignment, nobody can stop you. So I'm kind of opposite of other people because I personally don't believe in collaboration over competition. I don't, because you're not going to work as hard as me. Now, it does work. Collaboration competition does work, but I just know my work ethic is at an all-time high, and it's hard for somebody to get on that level. The next acronym I always focus on is luck. And luck stands for labor under correct knowledge. So there's no such thing as luck. You know what I'm saying? If you do the right activity, you're going to get the results. And that's for sure. And the last one I focus on, denial. The now stands for don't even notice I am lying. People lie to themselves every day. Every day they lie to themselves.
Oh man.
So I'm gonna pass the ball to you.
Oh my goodness. I'm an acronym person too, so I'm right there with you.
Yes.
I am.
Yes.
Man, you know what I want to do is just kind of maybe, I know a couple of you have talked about your chapters, but I want to make sure I get you a chance. But really just go around the room and throw Lord in there too.
Okay.
Just kind of hit on, the impact of influence. Volume 7 is let me hold that book up.
Yeah,
Hold that book up.
Yeah. Overcoming adversity to make an influence. The
Come
impact of influence, volume 7. And none of us are immune from growing through tough things.
Yes.
Right. And so, what we have to do is, find the blessings and the lessons, right?
Yeah.
And then use those to be a blessing to someone else. Because you're going to come across somebody that's going to face what you've gone through. And you might see the same thing again. Right? So
Crazy how that works.
Yeah. And it's important to make sure that you learn those lessons so that the next time you move more efficiently and effectively. So what I like for, each of y'all to maybe just think about, an adversity that you've had to overcome, and just maybe give a tip or two on, what you did to get over that adversity, just to encourage someone. So go with you.
Sure, I'll start. My chapter is I was telling Chip, either I just couldn't pick an adversity because there were so many, or
Coming out.
I was stumped. And I'm usually not stumped. So I'm on a flight reflecting. I need to get this chapter in. I write a ton, so I knew I could pull a college all-nighter, right?
Okay.
And I was reflecting on a conversation a coworker and I was having, and it went something like this. She said, Tamika, I don't know. I feel so bad. I don't know what you would have did. My roof started leaking, and thank God my husband was there. And I just feel so bad for you because I don't know what you would have did.
Come on.
And I took it. It went right off my shoulder, but I didn't forget it. I kept coming back to it, and then it dawned on me. You all can see I brought my daughter. That I apparently had been going through some adversity for 8 years, but didn't consider it that. And so there's always, there's someone sees a single parent, they say, oh, if you can make it, I know you might be tired, and so don't worry about it if you're too tired. And hadn't given any of it much thought, but it's certainly there. So it dawned on me to talk about single parenthood, which I hadn't in any of my books. My first book, I talk about redefining success. I've been an athlete to entrepreneur. I was in volume 5 and I talked about, I don't even remember, Chip. But anyway, it wasn't single parenthood.
Right.
So I talked about single parenthood, and the very first thing I said was it's your mindset and how you see things, how you see this perceived adversity has a lot to do with how you attack it.
Right.
And so for me, once I realized this is going to be a solo mission, I adopted a no excuse mindset. It's me versus me. And so that's the advice I give to people when they are facing some adversity. It's all about your mindset. That's going to be very important the whole way.
Yeah.
And then you got to adopt a no excuse mentality if you want to get through this thing, because sometimes it's not your fault, but it's your problem to fix. And it's really hard to accept that, because sometimes someone else or something has caused this adversity for you, like some of the actions of our parents and different things. So that's just my advice: have a no excuse mentality, and it's not easy, but that is the best place I can tell people to start is. Just accept it and have no excuses, and then go get it.
Go get it.
Go get it.
All right, Chop, what about you?
So, man. So I started writing during the pandemic. My one of my sorority sisters has a boutique publishing company, Spark Good Publishing. Shout out to my line sister, Dr. Kimberly Ellison. But the Lord, I always pray about it. So I was like, Lord, am I supposed to be in this project? So we did a devotional, 130 women across the globe, did the vote, like all over the world. And so then we did another affirmations book, and then I did another devotional. And so around that time, so I go back, I'm painting a picture. So in the devotional, I talked about my first adversity. So first of all, I'm born from teenage parents in a small area, like I said, Robertson County. If anybody know anything about Robertson County, it was very much prejudice, especially in 79 when I was born in the 80s. So that was the first thing, because the people already counted me out. I'm born from a 17-year-old mother, but my mama still, my grandparents stood in the gap and let her. She graduated and she did go to Prairie View. Now she didn't stay; that was on her, but they gave her those opportunities because we take care of our own. Then at the age of 6, I lost my brother in front of me to a drunk driver in Calvert, Texas, down the same street. I have to go down today because my family still live on that street. And so it's the thing about this is, like Tamika was saying, it's a mindset thing, because you can just go in and do anything. They'll justify it. Like you were saying, they'll just, oh, she lost a brother. So that's probably why she out there doing this and drinking and doing it or whatever.
Oh.
People will enable you, but if you don't have the right mindset to keep pushing, then you just gonna live up to what they think you are going to be. So in volume 5, Impact of Influence, just after my mom had just passed, and I was like, what is the biggest thing that had impacted me right now? And it was grief. And so it was a culmination of 36 years of grief that I hadn't really dealt with, because I just kept moving. Like they know I do a lot of stuff. I keep moving. But when my mama passed, I just had to sit there in it, because it was just like that.
Yeah.
And the thing about it is, it happened the same way. My brother was killed in a vehicular accident. My mama was killed in a vehicular accident. And she was just riding her bike, doing what she did, because she had just turned 60. It's a whole lot. So we get to volume 7. Chip come out and say, okay, I'm ready. What we talking about? He talking about adversity. I said, seeing past the city limits, manifesting my destiny. So that's my chapter. Seeing past the city limits, manifesting my destiny. Because if I didn't believe in what God had put in me, because the vision is ours, it's not a conference call. That's what I tell people. If the Lord told me something, he didn't tell you, he told me. So you can't tell me what I am and am not going to do. And matter of fact, when you say I can't do it, I'm going to do it at the top level.
Hey.
That part.
There you go.
So talking about that, just some people that God put in my life. I talk about my best friend, Nikki, and her family. I talk about my coach. But if the Lord didn't put these people in my life to help me understand who I was, not only in myself, but in him, then I don't know where I would be. And so that's why I'm always giving God the glory.
Yes.
I gave my life to Christ at 7. I didn't have no therapy. I had to go to church.
Yeah.
And so, we ain't had no money for no therapy.
Right.
So you
Right.
go to church and go. I went to school like a month later, because you have to keep pushing. You have to keep going.
Yeah.
And so we talk about acronyms. And my thing that God gave me at the end of 2018, 2019 is when your works intentionality never stops. So you got to put in the work, because faith without works is dead. You got to be intentional about it. And you can't stop, won't stop. So even when people try to enable you and make excuses for you, you got to shake yourself out and walk it like you talk it.
Yeah. There you
Right.
go. There you go.
So that's just a little bit of Tamika Chop Martin chop, as they say.
Let's go. Let's go.
Yeah. Chris, what about you, man? Any encouraging words to help listeners, viewers overcome adversity?
Oh man, most definitely. I'm over here listening to everybody else, and I'm like, let's go. Like we're getting ready to go through a football tunnel just run out. But
Let's go.
one thing, like I gotta set off like this, is believe in yourself. Believe in yourself. Believe in yourself, because we all know that life is going to face us so many adversities. I commend you for like overcoming that, because death is never easy, and then we're going to face even more challenges in the future, financials and much more. But I'm gonna piggyback up on what a lot of people said and tie it back to what my message as well is. First off, let's go on perspective. If you believe you're defeated, you're defeated.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Already.
I think I got to say it again, because a lot of times that goes over a lot of people's head. If you way in the back, just wait.
Yeah.
If you believe you're defeated, you're defeated. So why be your worst enemy? Why be your worst enemy when you have a lot of people who don't even have your vision and accept that defeat? It's up to you for you to change your own perspective. It's like, you got to remember, you were given the gift of life. And you got to realize how rare that is.
Amen.
It is very rare. You have the ultimate opportunity to leave a legacy, live your life, make an impact to others, and do something with it. So why not cherish this gift and make something of it? And if you change your perspective that I do have a purpose, I'm here for a reason, and I have a vision, and there's nothing going to stop me, why not have that perspective and push through it? Now, of course, you're going to have your walls, your turbulence, and much more. But going back to perspective, if you don't look at it as, let's just say, something that's going to knock me down or a wall that's holding me back, but more look at it like, oh, this is something of a wall to build me stronger to break it down. Or this turbulence is to strengthen me to make me have even more endurance to overdo, or make me have the heart of forgiveness so somebody else can learn how to forgive. There's so many stories that's going on in adversities that someone needs to hear your voice. And when I hear people and I even reflect on my own life, it's like, there's a reason why I'm still here, because I could have been taken out a long time ago. I've been given many opportunities, driving through Houston, I can get ran over. I can been at the wrong place at the wrong time, especially as we travel about. But I know that I'm here and everybody else is here for a reason. So why not change your perspective to something positive, empowering, and change the motive that you have a purpose to do something and make an impact, overcome the adversities. Just like Martin Luther King had a dream. You had a dream, and everybody else has a dream. And so many people are stuck in slumber. It's like they're here in reality, but they're not walking to reality. It's one thing to say you're alive, but it's one other thing to live. And I think people really need to understand it. So as you overcome your adversities, remember all these things and change your perspective and learn how to live, because that's how we can progress things and go so much further. And tying it back to my own chapters and looking yourself in the mirror and saying, like, I'm just like you, and you.
Yeah.
But the main thing is I did not give up.
Yeah,
I did not give up. I use this as a stepping stool or a throttle to get me to where I need to be. And with that mindset and determination, anything is possible.
Wow. That's powerful, bro.
That's
I got
good.
something on.
Chill. Before we move on, because the spirit didn't hit me when he said that be grateful for life.
Yep.
And I just think about that. My mama was 16 when she got pregnant with me, 17 when she had me. And my grandparents could have made her get an abortion and she couldn't have done nothing about it because she was a minor. But God, like, you know what Jeremiah 29:11 say?
Yeah.
I know the plans I have for you.
I
So
know.
the thing about it is we got to be grateful for life. And before I get up every morning, my feet don't touch the ground before I start praying and thanking the
Amen.
Lord for life. So the spirit just hit me with that. I had to share it real quick. Because when the Holy Spirit tell me to say something, I'm gonna say it.
Come on. Come on, before you forget it.
All right, Darius, what about you, man? Just overcoming adversity.
Man, as I sit here, man, and as an individual, but we sit here as a collective, one thing come to mind. I have to piggyback and echo the saying, Chris, great gratitude. Like Sis Chop, Sis T saying, everybody's saying it. Chris, being grateful. For me, I've learned how to, and I'll share with you in hopes that it'll help you as well. But for me, as my chapter is titled Press, I was sharing with my brothers and sisters before we even got on the pod. I was like, just yesterday, I went through some adversity, right? And it was scary for me. And so, and going through something like Brother Chip and I like to say, we have an opportunity to grow through it. And with this chapter being titled Press, when we press through the test, right, it enables us to stretch. And what I mean by that is this: God will never, ever place our prayers answered next to us or behind us. Right? So he'll put them in front of us.
Come on now.
Come on.
So when we press through the test, we'll be able to stretch and then receive what it is that he's already placed out there.
Yeah.
Is it easy? Absolutely not. Is it simple? It is. We want to do it every single time? No. Easier said than done? Absolutely.
Yep.
I promise you, right? Because at this given time, whomever is watching this, you're in a dark place. You're in a place of uncertainty. You're in a place of contrast. That's what we're here for. The chapters in this book isn't just a good read. There are organic transparencies that are there to, like Brother Chris said, to be the bridges, the ladders, and the step stools to help you out of whatever it is that you're in right now. You're going to develop something because of that. The pain is merely an indicator expressing who we are, where we are, and who it is that we are to become. And without that, then we will not get, right? We will not get to the promises that were made. Everybody, not everyone, but most people say, I have faith, I pray. Well, faith is an action word.
Come on now.
Right? And so we can't just have faith, but we have to have now faith. And the now part means activated. Activate it right now. Why now is your time? Activate your faith right now. Right? So in order for us to receive what it is that God has placed for us, we have to have now faith and get to where it is that he's promised us to be. Darius, how do we do that? How do we do that when we're going through it? Our lights are off, the car note is behind, I'm about to get evicted, my spouse and I, my child and I, my boss and I, my employee and I'm going through it right now. Drop the AL. What does that mean, Darius? Well, when we put the letters AL at the end of the word emotion, we become emotional, right? When we become emotional, we voluntarily lose control. Voluntarily.
How?
When we remove the letters AL or we don't even place them at all, we gain control. We keep control. The difference between the two. The AL enables us to react. I wasn't even thinking when I did that. They're right. They lost control. AL behavior. Remove the AL, it allows us to respond. Now we can think about it. Now we can look at it differently. Now we can analyze and dissect. Now we can move more efficiently, effectively, meaningfully, intentionally. Darius, I know it's not easy, but who's dependent on you? Your reason, your why, and your purpose are added to every single thing that I do every single day. Sis said, Chop said, her feet does not hit the floor until she say her prayers. I'm the same way. I thank God for giving me his life. Like me and Brother Law like to say, living in faith every day. I thank God for giving me the gift of life. And then I ask him what he want me to do with it.
Oh, yeah.
Because the manna that he gave me yesterday isn't good for today. I don't care how great it was. I was the greatest husband yesterday. I better be even better today. I was the most phenomenal brother and husband yesterday. And daddy yesterday. I better be an even better, whatever that was today. Because that was manna for yesterday. What's happening now? Right? So when I let go of Darius' will, this is how we push through. This is how we press through the test, which enables us to strength. I yielded my will.
Yeah.
It's simple. Easy? No. Simple. I yielded my will. Then what did you do after that, son? I accepted God's will as my way. That's it. That's it.
That's it.
When God said he prepared a place for us, why do I need to go and set the table? I just need to clean up what he said. Gratitude. Reciprocity. Giving back more than we receive. He gave it. He said, I prepared it. I ain't cleaned it up, but I prepared it for you.
Yeah.
So when we eat, break bread, and drink, whatever that thirst is, let us wash the dishes. Let us clean up behind ourselves. And let us now take that example and go prepare a place for someone else. Even that someone that's living inside of us whom we not yet met. Because that 47-year-old Darius that'll be here in July, this 46 version of me is preparing a place for him. So when we know that we have a reason, a why, and a purpose in anything, the simplicity of it and the ease of it parallels. And we become unconditional and we get it done no matter what.
It's good, man. It's good. So good, man. Lloyd, what about you, man?
Man, I'm gonna tell you, there's so many adversities that I have faced. But I started my brand Why Now Is Your Time years ago. Matter of fact, it was in 1999. I started my brand. I had this vision, And why now is your time is built on 3 principles, which is life, brand, and legacy.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I teach people how to design their life, create their brand, and leave their legacy. And so when I first started that vision, it really hit me because then I started thinking like, man, y'all heard the acronym of why, huh?
What's the, oh wow.
Why? So the acronym of why is what's hurting you.
Mm-hmm.
Because what's hurting you is what's going to fuel you.
Mm-hmm.
So growing up without a father, my mom dying at the age of 50 from cancer. These are things that have hit me to make me a bigger, better, stronger person. So I try my best to feed back into the next generation of young men. But then you can kind of see the hurt in them, but a lot of them don't want help.
Yeah.
And it's you don't really want to turn them down, but it's like sometimes God say, hey, step back and let them bump their head. They'll come back to you.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And my biggest thing is when we wake up every day, like you said earlier,
Mm-hmm.
the most important thing I say, document your moments so you'll never create content.
Mm.
So the world can remember you at the end of this journey. So every day we got 60,000 thoughts and most of them are negative.
Yep. Yep.
And so every day we waking up, it's good for us to say, hey, you know what? Today I'm going to document these moments. So then a year, 2 years from now, that's why when y'all see Facebook remind you, you're like, oh, I post that picture. Or, you know, like those stuff like that. So imagine every day if you would record 3 to 5 minutes of your life.
Mm.
You know, so I look at your year as the chapter of your life.
Yeah.
So however old you are,
Chapter.
that's the chapter. Okay, the day, the pages in the book are the days.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think every single day you have these moments that you must capitalize on because they're gonna come back and remind you, like, man, I remember that. People say, I ask people like, what do you guys go back and tell? What would you go tell your old self
Mm-hmm.
if you could
Mm-hmm.
to make today look different? And I always tell myself, like, man, if I could have did this, but God always say, hold on, you need to go through what I had you go through. So now the 44-year-old you is different.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
That's good, man. So many great gems. I think just briefly on adversity, I think our biggest blessings come from our biggest lessons.
Yeah.
yes.
Right. So a lot of the times, we may think that this may be the toughest thing that's ever happened for us in our life. Right. And it could be
At that moment.
right at that moment, yeah. But on the other side of that adversity will come your maximum growth.
Yeah.
Right. And so what you have to do is there's 2 things that I believe, and I write about this in the chapter, grow through your adversity.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And everybody has said it. Right. The first thing is, okay, take a deep breath and ask yourself, what am I grateful for?
Yeah.
Right. Like regardless of however tough it is, just take a deep breath and yes, I don't have this, but it's a whole lot of people that don't even have what I have.
Come on.
Right. Oh,
Like, yes, man, this is a bad situation that I'm in, but man, could be way worse.
Could be.
Right. So what are you grateful for? Right. So then once you figure that out, okay, then the next piece is, what am I learning from this?
Yeah.
Right. And I think when you can put those 2 things together and then put those together with the work to do the rehab to get you where you want to be, oh man, watch out.
game time.
Oh man.
And the lessons in the losses, though.
Oh,
So the lessons are always in the losses, and sometimes, because God showed me a vision one time, it's like, there's no way that I can build that stepping stone until you take that loss so that you can personally go put it on there.
Mm-hmm.
You know what?
and it's not a failure unless you make the failure.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good.
Right.
Mhm.
And so when you take the ownership again, and you have to take ownership.
Yes.
Right. And most times in our life, the toughest ship to navigate is ownership.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right.
Yes.
And so we have to look at ourselves and take ownership in, what is my part in this? You may not even, like Coach said, you may not even have any part in it.
Yeah.
You may be in place in a situation, but whatever it is, I'm gonna play the cards that I was dealt.
Yes.
I'm gonna play them, man. Let's go. What'd you have, Chris?
Man, I had to plug this in, but like when I was listening to both of y'all, the athletes that immediately hit my mind was Jordan. Just imagine if he made his high school basketball team, but he got cut. In the amount of hours he went through practicing over and over again. And then let's not forget his first few years in the league, he didn't immediately become like MVP, all these finals, and all. He got knocked out the playoffs. So it's like these defeats actually mold you to get you stronger. So
it's good, man.
But I'm a big John Maxwell person, and he has a book called Fail Forward. And so when I was first coaching my teachers, when I came out the classroom and started coaching teachers, because I said, if I coach them and they have 30, 100 students, then I'm making more of an impact. So that's why I left the classroom. So one of the first things I found is FAIL. The acronym for FAIL is first attempt in learning. So you can't learn just sitting on the sideline.
Oh, yeah.
You got to get in the game. And sometimes when you're in the game, there are going to be failures. But if you fail forward, and like you said, take those L's as lessons, and those lessons are going to become your blessings. Because again, whatever the enemy can be a person, the enemy can be a thing, and then a situation. And I always go back to Psalm 23:5. Thou preparest a table before me in the presence. The Lord said they're going to be there in the presence of my enemies. Thou doing my head with all my cup runneth over. So no matter what's going to happen, whether we look at it as a failure or not, we got to fail forward, and we got to know that even those situations, those adversities, those people, whoever it is, those haters, whatever we want to call them, there's a plan. That's all part of God's divine plan.
I got one thing that I'm thinking of too is like, as I hear all this, I think one thing we need to bring light to is like a lot of this comes around fear. Fear of like stepping onto a course, fear of stepping into like fatherhood, fear of like stepping forward into whatever you want to do in life. And a lot of that, the more I think, even at this moment now, is like starts with you. Like you either been told or you believe that the fear is more powerful than your actual ability to overcome.
Well, she said earlier, mindset. Mindset's everything.
If you don't mind,
you can get in your own way. You can get in your own way because
that's the
what
worst
happens
thing.
is you start telling other people your vision, and then those people start dropping these seeds in you, and those seeds gonna start to grow. For instance, say we had a glass. All right, the glass represents your body. God give you a dime. The dime represents. You drop the dime on the bottom of the glass. The dime represents the vision. Now, we take that same and we take some water, and God, this is all the good information I'm giving you. Oh, he filling up your cup. But then this person come with a teaspoon of Coke. And they say, hey, I don't know if that's going to work. That dime that was clear, what happens to it? It's starting to give somebody else come. Hey, I wouldn't do that if I was you. This is a teaspoon.
You know what I mean?
And what happens is you like, before you know it, your vision that was totally clear, you can't see nothing.
It's got cloudy.
Looking like mud. You know what I'm saying? So God said, now, guess what? You got to empty that whole thing out to start over. So that's the mindset that
I think that's also why it's important to like have moments to yourself. Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Because like I think we're so used to always being helped or having someone there, which is all good. But I think there's a lot of power in having moments to yourself. It eliminates other people to pretty much cloud your vision.
Yes.
And I know at times can be fearful, but it kind of reminds what I was writing about too, like facing reflection, is that moments of yourself allows you to see within yourself what you really need to do and just ignore all the noise. And once you get to that point, you really can start moving forward because there's a lot of noise out there, y'all.
But you know what? When you're with yourself, you're with your physical self, but you're also with your physical self. I mean, your spiritual self. So you're really not by yourself. So because God created us for relationship, first of all, with Him, I always do this. First of all, with Him. Second of all, with everybody else. And if this is out of order, this is always going to be out of order because we are physical. We are physical beings. Your spiritual beings live in a physical human experience. And so those moments of solace gives us the opportunity to be with our spiritual self. Our physical self gets the opportunity to be with our physical self. And like you said, you get to block out the noise because if all of this is coming in, you can't tap into what your spirit is telling you to do. And me being a believer with the Holy Spirit in me is telling me to do.
That's
So
deep,
when you
man.
said that, that just made me think about that.
Yeah, that's deep though. I'm like you, sis. I'm a believer. Like I said, I'm a kingdom man first. And Brother Lord was saying, all it takes is a little drop to make to cloudy up the whole cup. But I immediately heard all it takes is the faith the size of a mustard seed.
Yes.
Right? When I heard Brother Chris say, fear hold us back at times, I reminded myself that God didn't even give us that spirit. So why is it even here? So I know that's a lie. So it's us, not you, Brother Chris. I'm saying when that thought comes to me, I tell Darius, that's a lie, bro. You afraid of what? You are the son of the Most High. May I remind you that? So when we find the Coca-Cola being poured in a clear glass, when we find the anchors of fear, we know that's an illusion. Because fear is false what? Expressions appearing real, right? And opinions, sis said, people may have them, but they're not our reality. So why are we framing them as such? Right? So when we can go through life as the word speaks, the truth speaks, then we will experience even the contracts that was promised to us. We'll experience all of that and get through the other side. We'll get through the other side. No matter what we're faced with, our inner David will always be there. He's prepared us with the lions and the bears. So we may come with a weapon that's unfamiliar to a battle and be laughed at. Oh, girl, I don't know what you would do if your roof, your inner David coming out.
Yeah.
Oh, you have to travel down the same street. Inner David coming out. Oh, there's a lot of reasons you shouldn't be here. Contrast. My mom and my brother. Mom died. Contrast. He prepared me when I was 15, when my daddy died. I was only 15 years old. He was 41, colon cancer. I was ready for my mom. How were you ready for your mom? God gave me his daughter first for 40 plus years. Gratitude helped me overcome it. I had a mama to go to when my dad died. Gratitude. I had a big brother to go to and raise me. Gratitude. My daddy was here for 15. Now I'm the daddy to my children because the dad that I had to me. Gratitude. David and Goliath. No weapon formed against us shall prosper. Come on, Goliath. Every time I see that big boy, I know God about to take me to the next dimension. If I can have now faith, the size of a mustard seed, I'm going to holler at y'all. I'm gone. I'm not staying here. I've been through too much to stand right here. And so have we all. It's no problem. It's nothing wrong with having a string at the end of your balloon. It's time for you to helium up. It's time for you to elevate. So conquer that Goliath and take his sword. Remove his head. Hold it over yours and remind the world of who you are and who you are. And you too will see that. You too will see it for yourself. You can do all things through Christ, who strengthens you. Each and every one of us on this panel and all of our viewing audience, we all have that ability. So let's exercise that no matter what.
It's beautiful.
Yeah.
You got Coach Tamika.
I'm thinking about impact, and a prayer comes to mind when I was a youth growing up in church, and you'd hear the elders praying, and they say, "Use me, Lord, I want you to use me."
Yeah.
And I was listening, scrolling Instagram, and Lauryn Hill had a quote, and it said, "In order to be used, you gotta you gotta get used."
Come on.
And I thought about, I had a pattern of, on some jobs, I always felt like I was doing more than my job, and I mean, it would go unchecked for so long. I'm like, am I being used? And it dawned on me, if you want to be used, you got to be used. And that totally changed my mindset. But there's that human and flesh and that ego part of you is like, nah, listen, I'm not
Give me some
being
of your
used.
paycheck.
Like, well, we changing some things here, but you got to be used. And you got to make the choice to, that how you respond to this perceived being used is where the impact's gonna come in. So people are paying attention to, what you're paying attention to. So check the used part. I'm gonna lock in on that. I'm gonna get opportunity to show somebody how it's done, or to rise above what's probably some maybe a little shady, or so. that has stuck with me when I felt like, gosh, we agreed to a project. I done did 90% of the work. We planned this event.
Like that.
No, did anybody else
presentation that you got your name on?
Yeah, did anybody else help with this?
Which is good though. I think we all gotta embrace that. Like you gotta kind of embrace, like, I believe in Jesus Christ, and to know what he went through.
Yeah. Come on, Lord.
I'm willing to go through.
Come on. Let's go.
But the problem is people not. We're in this generation of people who's like, I want success right now. But I'm like, cause I deal with a lot of clients, you know what I'm saying? And people, they want this right now success, but you got $5 worth of information, but you're trying to be a millionaire.
Oh, come on,
It's not working out for you because, but then you want to turn up, and it's like, I'm like, no, get the knowledge, do the work, get better, and then you're gonna see results. People, and basically you in rush to go the wrong way. But go ahead, Chip.
Hey, let me say something right quick, brother Chip. You said people are the $5 spot trying to get to $1 million. They'll never get there. They'll never get there because you have to maximize that $5 spot. Like you're there for a reason. If you can't millionaire the $5 spot, you'll never be able to millionaire the millionaire spot. He said, with little, we should be obedient in that spot. So you're in that spot with the $5 folk. Maximize that spot for them and self. And I promise you, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and beyond will come along.
That's why a lot of people like win the lottery go broke because they ain't ready.
They don't have the mindset like that. They don't have the mindset.
And I think people don't like your experience, like how long you've been doing what you're doing. Like your experience, people don't take that into like gratitude of like, man, like I meet 22, 23, 24-year-old young men. I'm like, bro, I'm 44. So I've been where you at. I'm like almost double your age. So I've been where you at, brother. So, it's good to, but, I understand, but I'm just trying to lead in the right way.
Type and swipe nation. That's what I call them. Type and swipe nation.
It's not type and swipe nation.
That's all they do. And so you got to teach them other ways.
Put it in the oven.
Teach them other ways.
Let it marinate.
Because you don't want that craft in the microwave will do for that moment. But you want that grandma. You want that oven.
Grandma take time.
That 3
I'll take it.
Slowing that thing down. You get fed on the microwave stuff, but it ain't gonna be as hearty. And
you ain't gonna get full like grandma.
That's what it
came from the soul.
We'll go ahead and wrap it up. I want to give everybody an opportunity to go around and share with the audience where they can follow you, check you out, show you some love. But we'll go back to you, Darius, and we'll come around.
Okay, blessings, man, and gratitude, brother Lord, for sharing your platform with us, man.
God is good.
An honor, brother. And my sisters and my brothers, man, I love you guys so much. My name is Darius Bradley Sr. If you want to continue to grow with me, you can find me on Instagram. I'm known as Divine Encourager, so that's at Divine_Encourager_. And on Facebook, it's simple, Darius Bradley Sr., parentheses, Divine Encourager. Go get it. God bless.
Chris?
So you can find me, start on my website, soulproduction.biz is where you can find most of my stuff from that website, but also from social media platforms. Instagram is at @CHolmes_. And then Facebook is Soul Productions. Just put the little @ symbol, y'all tech savage, you know what y'all doing. Don't be like, what the @ symbol at? The little joke. But then I also want you to check out my podcast, Next Level Thinking. Because as you get great energy just like this, I feel like I went to church. Amen. Enough about that. That's where you can find me at.
So my name is Tamika Chop Martin again, and I'm going to say I am Googleable. So if you put Tamika Chop Martin and see this beautiful face, you will find a lot of things. I'm in real estate, so I'm with Keller Williams Professionals in Real Estate. I'm doing business as Unyielding Realty Group. So you can find me on Instagram at Unyielding Realty Group. Also, I have a platform called Glam and Girlfriends about women's empowerment. The Glam stands for Go-Getter, Leader, Advocator, Motivator, and the Lord planted the seed in that, and we about to blow that thing up.
Let's go.
But again, Tamika Chop Martin on LinkedIn, Facebook. I also have Unyielding Realty Group on Facebook. And then I'm looking at this book. So this is first going to be a transactional relationship.
Good.
But once you start opening up these pages, that transformational relationship is going to turn, that transformational relationship will appear. So we're going to go from transactional, we'll get the book, to transformational as you read that book. Let's go get it.
Let's go, Coach Tamika.
All right. You can start with my website. Some of the services I offer are mental skills training for athletes, leadership development for athletic coaches. I do camps, volleyball camps in low resource areas. Let's see. You can find me on Instagram under Grit and Grind Athletics. I have a consulting business. I do speaking. If you're a college volleyball enthusiast, you may hear my voice doing color for some college games in the fall.
Come on.
So,
Come on.
at Twitter, Coach No Excuse.
For me, all of my social media is at Chip Baker TSC, as in the Success Chronicles, and all of my social media is that except for Twitter. X is at Chip Baker 19, and so on every platform. I don't want to be any excuse for you not to get this positive inspiration.
No excuse.
None.
Yeah.
Right. And so, I believe that no significant success is just going to come to you. I believe that you have to go get it. And so as we close, I'd love for us to get a go get it.
yeah.
That's all right.
Let's go.
All right, here we go. 1, 2, 3. Go get it. Let's go. And Lloyd, man, we just want to say thank you so much for having us.
Thank you so much.
In your amazing place, man. We appreciate the experience. We appreciate you and all you do, man. So
Man,
thank
look,
you.
I just want to thank you guys for coming. Man, listen, I like to be around greatness. And so, a lot of times, and I think, and people need to, when people get too familiar with you, they don't respect that you really the GOAT. Let's talk about it. No, I'm just saying. When people get really familiar with you, they don't realize you the GOAT. So let me tell you something. This is why a lot of times I post videos every day. So a lot of times I don't let people really get familiar with me. And I'm gonna say this before we close. Me and my wife went to this event. This guy kept looking at me. He looking. I'm like, man, what's this guy like? Man, I know you don't want this smoke. But anyway, he said, hey, brother, are you Why Now Is Your Time? He ain't even know my name.
Yeah.
But see, this tells you the power of just posting videos,
Consistently.
being consistent. People will respect who you are and your greatness. So tell all your guys, you guys are the GOATs.
Oh,
Don't let people, the people that think they know you, they know the old version of you. They don't know the new version of you.
There we go.
So anyway, we're going to close out, man. Final words, you got something?
That's it, man. Thank you guys for checking us out. Thank you, authors, for saying yes.
Yes.
Go get it.
Go get it.
Get it.
Yes.
All right, man. That was good.